There is a truth most people do not want to face. The world can easily disturb your peace if you let it. A single comment, a subtle insult, or one negative opinion can stay in your mind for hours, consuming your precious energy. Many people spend their entire lives reacting to everything around them, without realizing that every emotional reaction gives others total control over their state of mind. When someone can control your reaction, they can control you. Strong people understand a truth that most never learn. Not every situation deserves your reaction, and not every person deserves your attention. Real strength is not found in being the loudest or most aggressive person in the room. It is found in the silent power of emotional detachment. This is the discipline of protecting your inner peace from unnecessary disturbances by learning to observe your emotions without letting them guide your actions. It is about creating a quiet place of internal calm strength that remains steady no matter how chaotic the outside world becomes. Many conflicts in life begin with a simple, impulsive reaction to a minor disturbance. Someone says something negative or critical, and the moment you respond emotionally, the situation begins to grow into something much bigger and more exhausting than it ever needed to be. Words turn into arguments, arguments turn into stress, and that stress begins to disturb your peace. This reaction trap is easy to fall into because defending our ego feels natural and urgent. However, when you react immediately, you give up your control and allow the other person's behavior to dictate your state of mind. The moment you learn to pause and hold back your response, you break this automatic cycle and protect your mental space. The truth is that many people who criticize or provoke you are not looking for an honest conversation or mutual understanding. They are simply looking for a reaction that feeds their own desire for influence and attention. When they see that they can disturb your emotions, they feel a false sense of control over you. Your anger becomes their reward, and your frustration becomes their satisfaction. By understanding this dynamic, you can see that responding emotionally is exactly what they want you to do. Choosing steady silence instead of a defensive reply ruins their game completely, leaving them without the reward they expected. When you choose not to react, you immediately reclaim ownership of your state of mind. The person who expected an emotional reaction suddenly loses all of their influence over you because their words stop having power. You are no longer acting as a puppet that dances whenever someone pulls an emotional string. This self-command is the first step toward building an unshakable mindset. By deciding that your peace of mind is far more valuable than a temporary argument, you keep your focus centered on your own goals. Reclaiming your mind means refusing to let external noise dictate how you feel. Most people spend their energy trying to win every disagreement, believing that having the last word is a sign of strength. They argue, explain, and debate, hoping to force the other person to admit they were wrong. This pursuit of victory is a massive illusion that drains your energy and rarely changes anyone's mind. True victory is not winning the argument, it is maintaining your composure and walked away with your peace intact. When you refuse to participate in petty debates, you show that your self-worth is not dependent on other people's validation. Silence is often the most powerful and authoritative statement you can make. Provocateurs thrive on the emotional drama they create, using your frustration to validate their own importance. When you meet their negativity with a calm, unbothered silence, you deny them the reward they seek. Their words hit a wall of stillness and lose their momentum immediately. This non-reaction forces them to face the emptiness of their own provocations. Without your emotional energy to fuel the conflict, the drama quickly loses its power and fades away. Denying them a reaction is a highly strategic and elegant way to handle difficult people. Your emotions are a valuable resource that should not be given away freely to anyone who tries to disturb you. Many people treat their emotions like cheap currency, spending them on every minor criticism, traffic jam, or negative comment. This habit leaves them mentally bankrupt and constantly exhausted. Recognizing your emotional value means being highly selective about who and what you allow into your mind. You do not owe your attention to every negative opinion or provocation. By guarding your emotions carefully, you preserve your energy for the things that truly matter. For most of us, reacting to a perceived attack has become an automatic, deeply ingrained habit. The moment we feel criticized, our nervous system spikes, and our mind begins searching for a defense. Breaking this habit requires conscious discipline and a willingness to embrace temporary discomfort. You must train yourself to insert a pause between the trigger and your response. In that brief moment of quiet, you can choose to let the provocation pass without giving it any of your energy. This simple pause is the space where real emotional maturity and self-mastery are born. Reactivity is a passive state where you let your environment dictate your feelings and actions. Control, however, is an active state where you decide exactly how you will respond to the world. This shift from reaction to control is a profound transformation that changes how you experience daily life. When you stop reacting automatically, you become the observer of your circumstances rather than their victim. You realize that while you cannot control what people say, you have complete control over how much you care. This control is the foundation of a truly independent and successful life. A negative comment only has power if you accept it as important and let it take root in your mind. When you choose to ignore it, the words lose their impact immediately and fade into background noise. They become nothing more than temporary sound waves that have no bearing on your reality. By refusing to engage, you strip the critic of their ability to affect you. You show that their opinions are not heavy enough to tilt your balance or disrupt your peace. This calm indifference is far more powerful than any defensive argument. When you stop reacting to every opinion, your daily life becomes significantly quieter and more stable. You are no longer constantly recovering from minor emotional storms or replaying stressful arguments in your head. This steady calm naturally builds a deep, unshakable sense of confidence. You move through the world with the poise of someone who knows exactly who they are and where they are going. Your confidence becomes visible, and your presence becomes an anchor for others. This is the reward of mastering the discipline of ignoring negativity. One of the most exhausting traps you can fall into is believing that you must defend yourself against every criticism. In a highly connected world, opinions and judgments can reach us instantly, creating a constant pressure to explain our choices. This habit of endless self-defense drains your confidence and keeps you locked in a state of reaction. When you try to correct every misunderstanding, you surrender your time and focus to people who may have no interest in seeing your perspective. You do not need to justify your life to anyone. Letting go of the need to explain yourself is an act of supreme self-ownership. No matter what you do, how hard you try, or how kind you are, the world will always have opinions about you. Some people will misunderstand you because they do not know your full story, while others will judge you based on their own insecurities. This is simply an unchangeable part of human nature. Trying to please everyone is an impossible goal that only leads to frustration and a loss of personal identity. Once you accept that criticism is inevitable, you stop fearing it. You realize that other people's opinions are a reflection of their reality, not yours. People see the world through the lens of their own unique experiences, biases, and limitations. When someone disagrees with your path or criticizes your choices, they are often projecting their own fears and boundaries onto you. Understanding this makes it much easier to let their comments pass without taking them personally. You do not need to agree with everyone, and you do not need everyone to agree with you. Healthy progress requires you to stand firm in your own values, even when others don't understand them. Disagreement is a natural part of life. Reacting to it is a choice. Spending your days trying to convince critics to see things your way is a recipe for mental exhaustion. No matter how clearly you explain yourself, some people will still choose to misunderstand you because their goal is conflict, not clarity. It is a waste of your valuable time to debate with those who only want to judge. Your energy is far too precious to be spent on endless, circular discussions that lead nowhere. Let go of the urge to correct every false assumption. Allow people to be wrong about you, and keep your focus entirely on your own progress. When you chase approval, you make your emotional stability dependent on the opinions of those around you. This constant search for validation is highly unstable and leaves you vulnerable to every criticism. Protecting your energy requires you to break this dependency and find your approval from within. Your mental energy is a finite currency that must be invested wisely. When you stop spending that currency on seeking approval, you naturally create a calmer, more focused mind. Your focus shifts from satisfying others to building a meaningful life. Every minute you spend worrying about someone's negative opinion is a minute you could have spent improving your life. Wise individuals understand this leverage and choose to invest their focus into learning, building, and growing. They do not let critics distract them from their true potential. By directing your focus toward personal growth, you build a life of real achievement and substance. Your results become the only statement you need to make. Let your success speak for you, while you remain silent and focused in the quiet. People who judge or criticize you are looking at your life from the outside, through a very narrow and distorted window. They do not know your struggles, your sacrifices, your goals, or the lessons that have shaped your path. Because they lack the full context, their judgments are fundamentally flawed and carry no real weight. Knowing this, it becomes clear that their opinions do not reflect your true value. You are the only one who knows your full story and what it has taken to get here. Trust your own journey, and ignore the criticisms of those who are only watching from the sidelines. There is a profound sense of freedom that comes when you stop caring about what everyone thinks of you. You release yourself from the heavy burden of public expectation and the exhausting need to fit in. Your mind becomes quieter because it is no longer crowded with the fear of judgment. This freedom allows you to live authentically, making choices that align with your true purpose and values. You are no longer filtering your decisions through the approval of others. You become the master of your own path, moving forward with absolute clarity and peace. The mind can become a very noisy place when we allow every negative comment and opinion to live inside our thoughts. We replay criticisms, anticipate arguments, and carry stress that slowly drains our focus. Restoring mental quiet requires you to actively remove these weeds of negativity from your mind. By refusing to give attention to things that do not matter, you create space for peace and creativity to return. Your thoughts settle, and you regain the mental clarity needed for your deep work. A quiet mind is the foundation of a successful and balanced life. Your life is your own to build, and your direction should be guided by your own vision, not by the opinions of others. When you stop reacting to critics, you reclaim the power to direct your own path with intention. You invest your energy into the actions that will actually move you forward. Keep your eyes firmly on your goals, and do not let the noise of the crowd tilt your balance. The most successful people are those who walk their path with quiet, unwavering discipline. Your focus is your power. Invest it wisely in your own growth. In our culture, we are often taught that staying silent during an attack is a sign of weakness or surrender. We believe we must always fight back, defend our ground, and prove our worth in every conversation. But in reality, silence is one of the most powerful and authoritative tools of communication. Holding your tongue when you are provoked requires immense internal strength and self-control. It shows that you are strong enough to master your immediate impulses rather than being mastered by them. Silence is not a sign of defeat, it is a clear demonstration of absolute self-command. When someone insults or criticizes us, our body's natural survival instinct is to react immediately in defense of our ego. Our heart rate spikes, our muscles tighten, and our mind begins searching for the perfect verbal weapon to strike back. This reactive state is highly impulsive and often leads to decisions we later regret. Emotional mastery means learning to control this natural, biological impulse. It is the discipline of creating a pause between the attack and your response, allowing your logical mind to take over. By mastering your immediate reaction, you remain in complete control of the situation. When you choose to stay silent, you allow yourself to step out of the emotional storm and observe it clearly as an outsider. You can see the anger, the insecurity, and the motivations of the person trying to provoke you without getting pulled into their chaos. This perspective gives you an immense strategic advantage. You realize that their negativity is temporary and has no real power to harm your internal state unless you allow it. By observing rather than reacting, you maintain your balance and make decisions based on clear strategy rather than temporary emotion. Most conflicts do not start as major crises. They begin as minor disagreements that grow out of control because both parties keep reacting to each other. Each defensive response adds fuel to the fire, turning a simple comment into a destructive argument. This escalation slowly drains your energy and disturbs your peace. Silence is the ultimate tool for stopping this escalation in its tracks. When you choose not to respond, you starve the conflict of the attention and energy it needs to survive. The argument ends immediately, protecting your peace from unnecessary chaos. Many conflicts and provocations in the professional world do not exist to solve real problems. They exist simply to create tension and distraction. Some people thrive on drama and will actively try to pull you into pointless debates to drain your focus. If you allow yourself to be lured in, you are letting them distract you from your path. Recognizing these distractions is a key part of emotional intelligence. When you see that a conversation is driven by ego or negativity, you must make the strategic decision to remain silent. Your silence is a protective shield that guards your focus for what truly matters. There is a massive difference between the passive silence of fear and the active stillness of control. Passive silence happens when you are too intimidated to speak, leaving you feeling defeated and resentful. Active stillness, however, is a deliberate choice to withhold your reaction because you value your peace too much to waste it on drama. Active stillness communicates an immense, quiet power that other people can immediately feel. It shows that your emotions cannot be manipulated by outside circumstances or negative opinions. This stillness commands respect and establishes you as the strongest presence in the room. Anyone can maintain their composure when things are going well, but true authority is revealed in high-pressure moments when others lose their balance. When you are faced with a crisis, a harsh criticism, or an aggressive challenge, your ability to remain calm and silent is your greatest asset. Your composure acts as a stabilizer that reassures those around you and diffuses the tension in the room. It signals that you are not rattled by the pressure, but are choosing your direction with absolute clarity. Composure under pressure is the hallmark of a true leader. Every time you react emotionally to someone's behavior, you are silently admitting that they have power over your feelings. You are surrendering your emotional ownership to whoever happens to cross your path. Reclaiming this ownership requires you to actively choose how much access you give others to your mind. By choosing silence and emotional detachment, you keep your feelings entirely under your own control. You decide which situations deserve your energy, and which ones should be ignored completely. This quiet control is the foundation of a truly independent and powerful life. True confidence does not need to shout, argue, or prove itself in every conversation. It is quiet, steady, and entirely contained within a composed presence. When you stay silent during a provocation, your composure sends a powerful message of quiet confidence to everyone present. It shows that you are so secure in your own worth and direction that you do not need the validation of winning a debate. Your silence says without words, "I am in control of myself, and your negativity has no power here." This is the presence that commands respect. Composure is not an accidental trait, it is a mental discipline that is strengthened through consistent practice and repetition. Every time you choose the pause over the reaction, you are reinforcing the powerful, centered version of yourself. You are retraining your brain to default to calm authority. As you continue to practice silence in difficult moments, your emotional stability becomes unshakable. You notice that things that once triggered immediate anger now pass quietly through your awareness without disturbing your peace. This quiet composure is the ultimate reward of emotional mastery. Your mind has a strictly limited amount of energy and focus every single day, much like your body becomes tired after physical work. Every decision you make, every worry you carry, and every argument you enter consumes a portion of this valuable resource. If you spend your energy on trivial matters, you will have nothing left for your true goals. To build a highly productive and successful life, you must learn to treat your mental energy as a precious currency. You must guard it carefully and refuse to waste it on drama, negativity, or pointless conflicts. Ignoring unnecessary noise is a strategic choice to protect your mental resources. One of the most destructive habits of a reactive mind is the constant replay of negative events in our thoughts. A rude comment or a small disagreement can stay with us for hours, as we replay the conversation again and again, thinking of what we should have said. This mental replay is a massive waste of energy that produces nothing but stress. It keeps the conflict alive in your mind long after the actual event has ended, stealing your focus and your productivity. By choosing to ignore the provocation immediately, you prevent this cycle from ever beginning. You keep your mind quiet, fresh, and fully available for your work. When you allow negativity and drama into your thoughts, they act like mental weeds that quickly crowd the space needed for growth. Your mind becomes cluttered with worry, resentment, and frustration, making it extremely difficult to focus on your goals with clarity. You lose the mental space required for creativity and strategic thinking. Mastering the art of ignoring is the process of removing these weeds from your mental garden. It is the active choice to keep your thoughts clear, quiet, and aligned with your priorities. Protecting your mental environment is essential to achieving long-term success. The best time to stop a negative thought or a conflict is at the very beginning, before it has a chance to take root in your mind. When someone tries to provoke you, you must make the conscious decision to let the comment pass without engagement. By refusing to respond, you cut the cycle of negativity before it can grow. The situation ends immediately, leaving no lingering stress or arguments to replay in your thoughts later. This proactive boundaries save you an incredible amount of mental energy throughout your day. Breaking the cycle early is how you stay the master of your own peace. When you allow other people's behavior and negative opinions to control your mood, you are living in a state of dependency. Your daily happiness is entirely dependent on how the world chooses to treat you. Reclaiming your independence requires you to remove this external influence from your mind. By choosing emotional detachment, you build a protective barrier around your thoughts that cannot be penetrated by outside noise. You decide exactly what you allow into your mental space, keeping your focus firmly centered on your own goals. This quiet control is the ultimate form of personal freedom. A quiet mind is not a passive or empty state. It is a highly focused and balanced condition that allows you to perform at your best. When your thoughts are free from the noise of constant reaction, you naturally experience greater stability and clarity. You can see opportunities that others miss and make decisions with absolute composure. This internal balance is highly resilient, allowing you to remain calm and steady even when the surrounding environment is chaotic. Your stillness becomes your greatest source of professional leverage. By mastering the art of ignoring, you cultivate the quiet mind that drives real success. Not every disagreement is worth your presence, and not every critic deserves a response from you. Wisdom begins when you realize that many battles in life are simply distractions designed to drain your focus and tilt your balance. You must learn to select your battles with extreme discipline. Ask yourself whether a situation truly matters to your long-term success and growth. If the answer is no, you must choose to stay out of the conflict and let it pass. Saving your energy for the battles that actually matter is how you achieve real, lasting results. True growth requires a clean, focused, and positive mental environment where your ideas can take root and flourish. When your thoughts are constantly consumed by arguments and drama, you lack the mental resources needed to build your future. Ignoring negativity is the process of creating that essential space. When you stop wasting time on what does not matter, you naturally free up your energy for learning, creating, and improving your life. Your thoughts move away from reaction and toward progress. Creating mental space is the first step toward transforming your reality. Drama and conflict are like fires that require a constant supply of attention and emotional reaction to survive. When you keep responding to criticisms and defending your decisions, you are adding fuel to the spark. But when you choose to meet negativity with silence, you starve the drama of its oxygen. The conflict quickly loses its energy and quietly disappears without you needing to say a single word. This non-reaction is a highly effective way to handle difficult people and protect your peace. Starving the drama keeps your environment clean and focused. Successful and emotionally balanced individuals are often extremely calm because they guard their attention with ruthless discipline. They understand that focus is their most valuable asset, and they refuse to let it be stolen by trivial noise. Their energy is entirely invested in their goals, their habits, and their progress. By keeping your focus centered on what you can control, you build a life of genuine achievement and peace of mind. You no longer waste time on what others say or do, letting your results speak for themselves. This unwavering focus is the ultimate key to professional mastery. One of the most important lessons you will learn is that not everyone who interacts with you is looking for a meaningful connection or an honest conversation. Some people are driven entirely by their own insecurities and a desire for attention and control. They seek to provoke others because creating a reaction gives them a temporary sense of power. When they see that they can disrupt your emotions, they feel like they are in control of the situation. Your anger becomes their proof of influence. Understanding this motivation is key to emotional detachment, as it allows you to see their behavior as a game rather than a personal attack. For a provocateur, your frustration, irritation, and anger are the ultimate rewards for their behavior. They use your emotional response to validate their own importance and feel successful in their manipulation. When you react with defensiveness, you are giving them exactly what they wanted. This reaction keeps their toxic behavior alive, encouraging them to continue targeting you in the future. But when you choose to stay silent and unbothered, you deny them that reward entirely. Without your emotional reaction to feed on, their provocation loses all of its power. In everyday life, provocations often arrive in the form of subtle, sarcastic remarks or minor criticisms designed to trigger your defensiveness. These comments are rarely about the actual topic being discussed. They are carefully placed traps meant to test your self-control. If you take the bait, you step directly into their game. The mistake most people make is believing they must respond, correct, or debate these remarks. They spend their energy trying to prove the other person wrong, only to end up feeling frustrated and exhausted. The strongest move is to ignore the trigger completely and let the sarcasm float away in the silence. The only way to win a game designed by a toxic person is to refuse to play it in the first place. When you meet their provocations with absolute calmness and silence, you rewrite the rules of the interaction. You communicate that your state of mind is far too steady to be manipulated by their behavior. This non-reaction instantly shifts the power back to you. The critic is left alone with their own negativity, unable to create the emotional drama they need to feel important. Refusing to play is not a sign of weakness, it is a clear statement of superior authority. True power in communication is quiet, composed, and entirely self-contained. While reactive individuals rely on volume, aggression, and speed, a leader finds their strength in calmness. When you remain steady under provocation, you establish yourself as the strongest presence in the room. Your calm composure acts as a shield that absorbs the tension and forces others to adapt to your quiet frequency. It signals to everyone present that you are in complete control of yourself, which instinctively earns their trust and respect. Strength is born in the quiet stillness of your mind. Negativity requires a constant supply of attention and reaction to stay alive. When you choose to ignore a provocation, you cut off that supply immediately, causing the situation to lose its momentum. The drama simply cannot survive in a room where there is no reaction to feed on. This non-reaction is highly strategic, allowing you to diffuse conflicts without ever needing to argue or defend yourself. By letting the negativity lose its energy on its own, you keep your mental space quiet and focused. Silence is the ultimate extinguisher of petty drama. When you live in a state of constant reaction, your emotions are always in a turbulent, unpredictable cycle of stress and frustration. These intense feelings do not disappear immediately after an argument ends. They stay with you, affecting your mood and your productivity long after the event has passed. To master your life, you must make the conscious decision to protect your emotional balance at all costs. By choosing to ignore what does not matter, you prevent these negative cycles from ever taking root in your thoughts. You keep your mind steady, focused, and entirely under your own command. Most people who criticize, provoke, or try to put others down are struggling with their own deep-seated insecurities and frustrations. Their toxic behavior is often a desperate attempt to deal with their own feelings of insignificance or a lack of control in their lives. Once you recognize this pattern, it becomes much easier to ignore their negativity. You stop viewing their comments as personal attacks and start seeing them as cries for attention from a place of weakness. This understanding creates emotional distance, allowing you to let their remarks pass with calm compassion or simple indifference. When faced with a toxic situation or an aggressive provocation, the wisest decision is often to simply step away. You do not owe your presence or your energy to environments that are designed to drain you. Walking away is a powerful form of self-control that preserves your dignity and your focus. It shows that you have the clarity to recognize which situations are worth your involvement and which are simply traps. By removing yourself from the drama, you keep your mind clear and your energy available for what truly matters. Walking away is a strategic move that signals absolute self-respect. Quiet control is a habit that is built through consistent repetition of the fundamentals of emotional discipline. Every time you choose to ignore a provocation, you strengthen your ability to stay centered under pressure. You retrain your nervous system to respond with calmness instead of panic. Over time, this quiet control becomes your natural state, allowing you to move through a noisy world with a calm, unshakable confidence. You are no longer easily disturbed by the behavior of others, keeping your mind fully available for your own growth. This stillness is the ultimate key to life mastery. One of the heaviest, quiet burdens that many people carry is the constant, exhausting need to justify their choices to everyone. They feel as if every career change, lifestyle choice, or personal boundary must be explained and approved by those around them. This habit of over-explaining creates a hidden, constant pressure that slowly drains your peace of mind. When you constantly justify your life, you are silently operating from a place of insecurity, seeking validation for your path. But your life is your own to build, and your decisions do not need public approval to be valid. Letting go of the need to explain yourself is an act of supreme confidence. From a very young age, we are often conditioned to seek the approval of others, behaving in ways that make everyone else comfortable. While this habit may seem polite, it can quickly turn into a form of self-sabotage where you sacrifice your own values to fit in. True maturity begins when you decide to break this dependency. You stop living to satisfy other people's expectations and start living with clear, grounded intention. You realize that you do not need everyone to understand your choices for them to be right for you. Moving past approval is the first step toward genuine personal freedom. When someone questions your decisions, your first instinct is often to launch into a detailed explanation of your reasons in the hope that they will understand. But the reality is that understanding depends entirely on whether the other person is actually willing to listen with an open mind. Some people listen only to criticize, judge, or find weaknesses in your logic. No matter how clearly you explain yourself, they will still view your choices through their own biases and insecurities. Trying to convince them is an exhausting trap that leads to endless, circular debates. There is a massive difference between a meaningful conversation with someone who respects you and a defensive justification to someone who wants to judge. In healthy, close relationships, open communication builds deeper understanding and trust. But with critics or casual observers, explaining your reasons only invites unnecessary judgment. Learn to recognize when someone is listening with a closed mind, simply looking for something to criticize. When you spot this pattern, choose to hold your silence and let go of the urge to defend your choices. Your personal reasoning is not a public debate. To live a successful and authentic life, your decisions must be guided by your own core values and life philosophy. When you filter your choices through the expectations and opinions of others, you lose your direction and your peace of mind. You end up building a life that satisfies everyone else but leaves you feeling unfulfilled. Mastering the discipline of non-justification means standing firm in your own vision, even when you are walking alone. You trust your own mind, your own standards, and your own path. Living by your values is how you build a life of genuine integrity and strength. Your personal boundaries, career path, and life decisions are highly private matters that do not belong to the public. Not everyone who asks a question or expresses an opinion deserves access to your personal reasoning. Some people are simply curious, some are judgmental, and some are only looking for leverage. By refusing to explain yourself, you protect your privacy and maintain your boundaries. You show that your choices are self-sustaining and do not require external confirmation. Save your deep thoughts and reasons only for the few who have earned your trust and respect. The most effective and undeniable way to explain your choices is through your actions and your results. Instead of wasting your breath in endless debates, let your progress do the talking for you. A successful business, a balanced mindset, or a healthy life is far more persuasive than any verbal defense. When you stop talking and start executing, your confidence naturally rises. You allow your daily consistency to serve as your only justification, while you remain focused in the quiet. Your results will eventually speak louder than any argument. There is a powerful psychological dynamic where the more you explain yourself, the more opportunities you give others to question your decisions. Each explanation you offer invites another opinion, another judgment, and another discussion that was entirely unnecessary. It signals to the room that you are unsure of your own direction. By choosing not to over-explain, you project a solid, unshakable confidence. You make your decisions feel firm and final, leaving no room for debate or criticism. Your silence closes the door to doubt, ensuring your presence is respected. True personal independence means reaching a state of mind where your self-worth does not depend on the approval of those around you. When you constantly explain yourself, you are keeping yourself trapped in a state of mental dependency. You are letting others dictate whether your choices are valid. Choosing non-justification is the ultimate declaration of your independence. You reclaim full ownership of your time, your decisions, and your direction. This mental freedom allows you to walk your path with absolute clarity and unwavering focus. Living authentically means having the courage to be exactly who you are, without feeling the need to apologize or explain your identity to the world. It is the decision to live in alignment with your own values, even when it makes others uncomfortable. Authenticity is a rare and highly magnetic trait in a noisy world. By letting go of the constant need for justification, you create space for your true self to emerge. You build a deep, unshakable trust in your own judgment and path. Your life becomes guided by pure purpose rather than public approval, allowing you to achieve true mastery. Most people spend their entire days in a frantic, exhausting state of constant emotional reaction. Every notification on their phone, every sarcastic comment from a colleague, and every minor disagreement demands their immediate attention. They feel as if they must reply, defend, and correct every single disturbance that appears in front of them. This reactive lifestyle keeps your nervous system in a state of chronic stress, leaving your mind cluttered and exhausted. You are constantly jumping from one emotional crisis to another, without ever having the space to think clearly or rest. True peace begins when you actively choose to stop this endless cycle. We often blame our stressful jobs, toxic environments, or difficult people for our lack of mental peace. But the truth is that much of the stress we experience does not come from the situations themselves. It comes from the endless, internal reactions we allow to follow them. A single minor comment can stay in our thoughts for hours, replaying again and again. It is our constant mental focus and attention that keep the stress alive long after the actual event has ended. Once you realize that your stress is self-generated through reaction, you regain the power to change it. You stop feeding the situations with your attention, allowing them to fade quietly on their own. The mental replay of negative events is a highly destructive habit that quietly steals your daily focus and productivity. We spend our evenings replaying what we should have said, imagining how we could have responded, and anticipating future conflicts. This constant mental noise drains our cognitive resources and disturbs our peace. Breaking this cycle requires you to consciously refuse to engage with these thoughts. When a memory of a conflict arises, you must acknowledge it and let it pass without giving it any of your energy. Keeping your mind focused on the present moment is the key to restoring internal calm. Conflict is like a fire that requires a constant supply of emotional energy to survive. When you respond to a provocation, defend your actions, or argue a point, you are blowing oxygen onto the spark, turning a minor issue into a destructive blaze. This reaction keeps the drama alive, draining everyone involved. Silence and non-reaction are the tools you use to starve the conflict of fuel. When you choose not to respond, the negativity has nothing to feed on and quickly loses its energy, disappearing on its own. Starving the drama protects your environment and preserves your peace of mind. To protect your focus, you must learn to distinguish between the meaningful 20% of life and the noisy, trivial 80%. When a situation arises, ask yourself whether it truly deserves your time and energy, or if it is simply a distraction designed to disturb your peace. If a situation is meaningful and helpful, responding with clarity and composure is valuable. But if it is driven by ego, negativity, or provocation, you must choose to let it pass without engagement. Learning to filter out the noise is an essential skill for personal growth. Many people believe that they must respond to every challenge because staying silent makes them look weak or incapable. But true strength is quiet, composed, and entirely self-contained. It is the ability to remain calm and steady when everyone else around you is losing their balance. When you stay silent under provocation, you show that your emotions are not easily manipulated by others. This quiet self-command commands respect and establishes you as the strongest presence in the room. Silence is the ultimate expression of internal strength. Our thoughts are like clouds passing through a clear sky. They appear, change shape, and eventually disappear if left alone. The mistake we make is trying to grab onto every negative thought or opinion, keeping it alive through constant focus. We turn a passing cloud into a permanent storm. Mastering detachment means learning to observe your thoughts and emotions without holding on to them. You recognize that a feeling has appeared, but you allow it to drift out of your awareness without reacting to it. This simple habit creates a deep, unshakable sense of mental quiet. Internal calm is not something you find by changing the world around you. It is something you build by choosing what you allow to live in your mind. No matter how chaotic, noisy, or unpredictable your workplace is, your mind can remain steady if you choose not to respond to the noise. Your calm must come from within, rooted in your own self-control and clear priorities. By keeping your focus firmly centered on your own path, you build an unshakable inner stability. You become the master of your own emotional climate, completely independent of external circumstances. In moments of professional crisis or intense disagreement, people naturally look for a source of stability. If you react with panic or anger, you become part of the problem, spreading tension throughout the room. But if you remain quiet, calm, and centered, you become the emotional anchor of the group. Your composed presence reassures those around you, diffusing the stress and restoring a sense of order. People instinctively trust and follow the person who stays steady in a storm. Becoming an emotional anchor is how you build a reputation as a highly capable and respected leader. When you stop responding to every opinion, criticism, or demand, you reclaim your personal independence. You stop living to satisfy everyone else's expectations and start living with clear, grounded intention. Your self-worth is no longer determined by public approval. This freedom allows you to make choices that align with your true values and goals, leading to genuine growth and fulfillment. You focus entirely on building the life you want, while letting the noise of the world fade into the background. Your peace is valuable. Protect it with your silence. One of the most powerful skills you can develop is the ability to recognize when a situation no longer deserves your time, energy, or presence. Many people stay trapped in circular arguments, toxic work environments, or draining dynamics because they believe leaving is a sign of weakness. They waste years of their lives trying to win battles that do not matter. Walking away is a strategic and conscious decision that demonstrates supreme self-control. It is the moment when you decide that your peace of mind is far too valuable to be sacrificed for unnecessary drama. By removing yourself from the conflict, you retain your power and protect your energy. When faced with a criticism or attack, our immediate biological instinct is to stay and fight back, defending our ego and proving our worth. We feel that if we do not respond, people will think we are weak or incapable. This instinct is highly impulsive and often leads to destructive arguments that drain our resources. True confidence does not need to participate in every battle or win every debate. A mature individual understands that walking away is often the strongest and most dignified response you can make. It shows that you are not controlled by your immediate emotional impulses. The ego is constantly seeking recognition, validation, and the feeling of victory in every disagreement. It whispers that if you stay and fight, you will eventually convince the other person or make them look foolish. This pursuit of victory is a massive illusion that only keeps you trapped in negativity. True confidence does not depend on the approval of others or the satisfaction of proving someone wrong. When you walk away from unnecessary conflict, you show that your self-worth is self-sustaining. You choose peace over ego victory, keeping your mind quiet and focused. Reactivity is a passive state where you let others dictate how you feel and act. But when you choose to walk away from a provocation, you are demonstrating absolute self-control. You decide exactly where your energy goes, refusing to let your emotions be manipulated by their behavior. This quiet discipline builds an unshakable sense of internal strength. You become the master of your own path, moving forward with absolute clarity and composure. Reclaiming your self-control is how you stay the master of your own life. Every argument, conflict, and defensive explanation consumes a portion of your limited daily mental resources. Even after the physical interaction has ended, the stress continues to live in your thoughts as you replay the event. This mental exhaustion robs you of your productivity and focus. By choosing to walk away early, you prevent this cycle of stress from ever beginning. Your mind remains quiet, clear, and fully available for your deep work and goals. Saving your emotional resources is a strategic choice to invest your life where it produces real progress. True wisdom begins when you accept that you cannot control the thoughts, opinions, or actions of other people. People will always criticize, misunderstand, and behave in ways that do not make sense to you. Trying to change them or force them to see your perspective is an impossible goal that only leads to frustration. The only thing you can truly control is your own response to them. When you walk away, you accept this reality and stop wasting your energy on things outside your command. You focus entirely on maintaining your own peace and direction. In the heat of a tense argument, emotions rise quickly, voices become louder, and mutual respect can disappear in a matter of seconds. Continuing the conversation in this state often leads to regret, as people say things they do not truly mean. These words can leave lasting scars on professional relationships. Choosing to walk away before reaching that point is a powerful way to protect your dignity and your integrity. You leave the situation with your self-respect intact, refusing to become part of a destructive and childish exchange. Protecting your dignity is how you maintain a highly respected professional reputation. Leaving a toxic situation with integrity means refusing to match the low, negative energy of the person trying to provoke you. You do not yell, insult, or make sarcastic parting remarks. You simply, quietly, and firmly remove yourself from the environment. This calm exit is an elegant and powerful statement of self-command. It says, without words, that you respect yourself too much to participate in drama. Leaving with integrity ensures that you stay centered and balanced, regardless of how others behave. Colleagues and supervisors pay close attention to how you handle difficult situations and conflict in the workplace. When they see that you do not panic, yell, or react to provocations, they begin to view you as a highly mature and dependable professional. Your composed presence commands deep respect. They notice that your peace is unshakable, and that you choose your battles with extreme wisdom. This quiet stability is far more persuasive than any loud display of volume or aggression. Gaining respect through composure is the key to building real influence. Walking away from unnecessary conflict is not an act of defeat or surrender. It is a profound act of wisdom. It is the moment when you recognize that some battles are simply distractions designed to keep you from reaching your true potential. Your peace is far too valuable to be thrown away lightly. By choosing calmness over conflict, you keep your mind clear and your energy focused entirely on your own growth. You move forward with clarity, purpose, and strength, leaving the noise of the world behind you. Walking away is how you stay the true master of your own destiny. Your attention is one of the most powerful and valuable resources you possess, far more precious than money or time. Every single day, your mind decides where your attention will go, whether it will be invested in your goals, your habits, and your personal growth, or waste it on drama, negativity, and distractions. The quality of your daily life is determined entirely by where you choose to invest this precious resource. When you allow your focus to be captured by trivial noise or negative opinions, you are giving away your personal power for free. Guarding your attention is how you build a successful and balanced life. In today's highly digital world, your attention is under constant, aggressive attack from advertisements, social media, news, and endless notifications. Every device on your desk and every voice in your environment is competing to capture your focus, pulling your thoughts in 1,000 different directions. This constant noise makes it very easy to give your attention away without even thinking about it. You react automatically to every buzz, every comment, and every opinion, leaving your mind scattered and exhausted. Reclaiming your focus requires you to build a protective wall around your workspace. Just as money can be invested wisely to grow your future options or wasted carelessly on things that have no value, your attention functions exactly like currency. When you give your focus to arguments, criticisms, and negative remarks, you are making a bad investment that yields a negative return on your peace. You spend your valuable mental resources on things that do not contribute to your growth, leaving you feeling mentally bankrupt. Protecting your attention currency means refusing to spend it on distractions or drama. Invest your focus only where it produces a positive, meaningful return. When your attention is constantly being pulled in different directions, your emotional state and your productivity suffer immediately. You become highly fragmented, jumping from one minor task or emotional reaction to another throughout your day. This, task switching, breaks your concentration and destroys your momentum. You lose the ability to think deeply, organize your thoughts, or produce work of exceptional quality. A scattered focus keeps you trapped in a cycle of reaction and frustration. To achieve real professional mastery, you must commit to guarding your attention with extreme discipline. Think of your mind as a beautiful, productive garden. For a garden to grow at its best, you must actively clear away the weeds of negativity, distraction, and drama. If you allow these weeds to take root, they will quickly consume the soil's resources, crowding out the space needed for your goals and clarity. Guarding your mental garden is the process of deciding exactly what you allow into your mind. You actively choose to ignore the trivial noise of the 80% and focus your energy entirely on the 20% that drives your growth. This quiet discipline is how you cultivate a strong, peaceful mindset. Highly successful and emotionally balanced individuals are often extremely calm because they are incredibly selective with their attention. They understand that focus is their most valuable asset, and they refuse to waste it on arguments, point conflicts, or negative opinions. They do not respond to every critic. Instead, their attention is directed entirely toward learning, building, and moving forward in life. They invest their energy into creating real value, while letting the distractions of the world pass without engagement. This selectivity is the ultimate key to professional and personal mastery. There is a powerful psychological rule that whatever you choose to focus on will naturally grow in your mind. When you spend your time replaying arguments, thinking about criticisms, or worrying about negative opinions, those frustrations begin to dominate your thoughts, filling your days with stress. But when you choose to focus on learning, improving, and executing your plans, your mindset becomes stronger and more positive over time. You naturally create a momentum that pushes you towards success. Choose to focus on your vision, and let the negativity fade from your awareness. Your emotional state is deeply connected to where you direct your focus throughout your day. If your attention is constantly being hijacked by digital noise and criticisms, your emotions will naturally mirror that chaos, rising and falling with every pass opinion. But when you learn to guide your attention intentionally, your emotional state becomes steady and balanced. You are no longer reacting impulsively to every disturbance, keeping your mind calm and quiet. Guiding your focus is how you maintain an unbreakable internal balance under pressure. When you react automatically to everything someone says or does, you are allowing them to control your thoughts and emotions. You are giving them an immense, silent influence over your mental state. Reclaiming your personal influence means choosing exactly where your attention belongs. By refusing to give your focus to critics, provocateurs, or drama, you reclaim full control over your own life. You stop letting external distractions dictate your direction, and instead begin directing your thoughts with calm intention. Reclaiming your focus is reclaiming your personal power. When your attention is protected and focused entirely on your goals, progress becomes natural and highly satisfying. You spend less time recovering from emotional distractions and more time executing your plans and building valuable skills. Small, consistent daily steps begin to accumulate, creating real transformation. You move through your days with a calm, unshakable momentum that drives you toward your bigger goals. The noise of the world loses its power over your life because it no longer receives your attention. Your focus is your strength. Use it to build the future you want. By the time you truly understand and practice the power of ignoring, your relationship with the world changes completely. What once seemed urgent, upsetting, or emotionally overwhelming now appears much smaller and easier to manage. You no longer feel the need to respond to every single comment or opinion. You see human behavior with a calm, analytical clarity rather than getting emotionally involved in every interaction. You realize that negativity is simply background noise that has no power over your peace unless you allow it. This perspective shift is the ultimate goal of emotional detachment. The foundation of emotional detachment lies in the simple, disciplined practice of the pause. When someone tries to provoke you or says something negative, your immediate instinct is often to respond quickly in defense of your ego. But when you pause, even for a single second, you create a critical distance. In that brief moment of quiet, you give your logical mind the opportunity to decide whether the situation deserves your response. You ask yourself if the comment is worth your precious energy. If the answer is no, you let it pass without giving it any of your attention. Much of the negativity we face in the professional world is not a reflection of our true value. It is a reflection of the other person's insecurities and frustrations. When someone criticizes you harshly, they are often projecting their own internal struggles and limitations onto you. Recognizing this pattern makes it much easier to ignore their remarks. You realize that responding or defending your path is unnecessary because their opinion has little to do with your reality. This understanding creates emotional distance, allowing you to let their remarks pass with calm indifference. Emotional distance is not about becoming cold or uncaring toward your friends, family, or work. Rather, it is the discipline of keeping unnecessary negativity and drama outside of your inner peace. It is the boundary that ensures your mood is not determined by the behavior of others. When you create this distance, you can observe difficult situations and criticisms with calm awareness without letting them disturb your balance. You remain engaged with the world but completely protected from its chaos. Emotional distance is the ultimate shield for your mental health. To maintain a high level of clarity and focus, you must actively clear away the mental weeds of worry, frustration, and resentment from your mind. When you allow arguments and drama to live in your thoughts, they crowd out the space needed for growth and creativity. By choosing to ignore what does not serve your purpose, you keep your mental garden clean and quiet. Your attention naturally shifts toward your goals, plans, and actions, allowing you to produce work of exceptional quality. Clear thoughts lead to consistent, meaningful progress. Many people believe that being emotionally disciplined means suppressing your feelings or pretending that you do not feel anger or hurt. But true discipline is not about hiding your emotions. It is about choosing whether those emotions have the power to control your actions. You recognize that an emotion has appeared in response to a trigger, but you do not let it guide your next words or decisions. You allow the feeling to settle, observe it with calm awareness, and let it pass. This level of self-control is what builds unshakable confidence. Reactivity is a passive, automatic loop where you let external events dictate how you feel and act. Observing, however, is an active and conscious discipline where you separate your temporary feelings from your permanent goals. It is the ability to stay still in a storm. When you choose to observe rather than react, you keep your logical mind in complete control of the situation. You choose responses that are professional, precise, and effective, rather than blurt out words in anger. Observing is the ultimate expression of emotional detachment. In the heat of a professional crisis or disagreement, the situation often feels overwhelming, as if it is the most important thing in your life. But with time, most minor conflicts lose their significance completely. The argument that ruined your week months ago no longer matters to you at all. Emotional detachment helps you see this perspective even in the present moment. When faced with a disturbance, remind yourself that it is merely a temporary event that will soon pass. This realization prevents you from wasting your valuable emotional energy on things that do not last. True peace of mind is not found by trying to change the world around you or force everyone to behave according to your standards. The world will always be noisy, unpredictable, and sometimes chaotic. Real stillness can only be found by choosing what you allow to live inside your mind. By practicing the art of ignoring negativity, you build a quiet place of internal calm strength within your own character. This stillness remains steady regardless of what happens around you, acting as an anchor for your life. Find your peace within, and let the world be as it is. When you stop reacting to the drama, you stop wasting your voice on endless explanations, and you protect your attention currency. You reclaim full ownership of your path. Your decisions become clear, your focus becomes sharp, and your energy is directed entirely toward progress. You step into a state of calm authority, directing your life with intentional purpose rather than being guided by public approval. The noise of the world fades into the background, while your vision stands out with undeniable clarity. Your journey toward an unshakable mindset is built on the silent power of emotional detachment.